Hi guys, today we start discussing Sitaram Goel's views on the theological foundations of Islamic iconoclasm in India. The destruction of Hindu temples at the hands of Islamized invaders continued for more than 1100 years, from the middle of the 7th century to the end of the 18th. It took place all over the cradle of Hindu culture, from Sinkiang in the north to Tamil Nadu in the south, and from Sistan in the west to Assam in the east. All along, the iconoclasts remained convinced that they were putting into practice the highest tenets of their religion. They also saw to it that a record was kept of what they prized as a pious performance. The language of the record speaks for itself. It leaves no doubt that they took immense pride in doing what they did. It is inconceivable that a constant and consistent behavior pattern witnessed for a long time and over a vast area can be explained except in terms of settled system of belief, which leaves no scope for second thoughts. This is such an important point. So when something is happening by the followers of one group of by the followers of one religion, across generations, across thousands of years, in every place, in every country, in every civilization, so then it has to be concluded that there is a framework that is in place. There is a fixed set of beliefs that are leading to these causes. Not poverty, not socio-political issues, not socio-economic issues, not poor Muslims killing rich Hindus, none of that nonsense. Those exceptions don't come here because those are not the bug, but destroying temples is the feature. Looking at the very large number of temples, big and small, destroyed or desecrated or converted into Muslim monuments, economic or political explanations can be only a futile, if not fraudulent, exercise. The explanations are not even plausible. In fact, it is not at all difficult to locate the system of belief which inspired the behavior pattern. We have only to turn to the scriptures of Islam, the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet, and we run straight into what we are looking for. The principles which were practiced and the pious precedents which were followed by the subsequent swordsmen of Islam are all of them there. The scriptures of Islam do not merely record what its Allah ordained and its Prophet did in the past. They also prescribe that what is recorded should be imitated by the faithful in the future, till the end of time. That is why the swordsmen of Islam, who functioned in times much later than that of the Quran and the Sunnah, did what they did. It is in the very nature of scriptures, as we shall see, that they make permanent what can otherwise be dated and dismissed as temporary aberrations. Here, Sitaram Goel makes a side note that we are leaving for the time being the destruction that took place in Muslim princely states under British rule, as also that which has continued since 1947 in Pakistan, Bangladesh and Kashmir. And we are leaving for the time being the destruction which took place and is taking place in Indonesia and Malaysia. Those scriptures are still being taught in hundreds of maktabs and madrasas spread over the length and breadth of India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, missionaries of Islam, Pakistan and Bangladesh. Missionaries of Islam that are turned out by these institutions year after year are never told by their teachers that the prescriptions regarding other people's places of worship stand abrogated or are out of date. At the same time, the swordsmen who destroyed innumerable temples and monasteries all over the vast cradle of Hindu culture retain their halos as the heroes of Islam. That alone can explain why Hindu temples become the first targets of attack whenever Muslim mobs are incited against India by the mullahs in Pakistan, Bangladesh and Kashmir. It is therefore worthwhile to clarify that the word scripture stands for, before we take up the scriptures of Islam, what the word scripture stands for. The language of Christianity and Islam in the modern media has confused the language of religion all along the line. Even scholars do not seem to know or care to clarify that scriptures as such are specific to the prophetic or revealed religions such as Judaism, Christianity and Islam, and that they remain unknown to the pagan spiritual traditions such as that of the Hindus, the Chinese, the ancient Iranians, and the pre-Christian Greeks, Romans, Germans, Slavs, Scandinavians, Celts, etc. The confusion has been further confounded by what passes for secularism in this country. Most of our scribes in the mass media are either equally ignorant of all religions or equally indifferent to them. But they insist with considerable vehemence that all religions say the same things, even though they haven't studied all the religions. It's practically impossible for most people to study all religions equally. Start studying Hinduism today, you'll end 60 years later. So how can someone claim that Hinduism is equal to Islam, is equal to Christianity, is equal to Judaism? As they preside over the birthday functions of festivals related, politicians in power are much worse. As they preside over the birthday functions of festivals related to Sri Rama, Sri Krishna, Bhagwan Mahavira, Bhagwan Buddha, and Guru Nanak on the one hand, and Jesus Christ and Prophet Muhammad on the other, they harangue the audience to follow the teachings in each case. It never occurs to them that Christianity and Islam have nothing in common with the Hindu spiritual traditions, and that the followers of the former former have tried and are trying their utmost to wipe out the latter.